Hi, I'm Michael Burke, and this is Money Talks. Hi, welcome to Money Talks with Devin Sutherland, Executive Director of Downtown Racine Corporation. You've been on several times, so you know the drill.
Yeah.
And this time we are going to be talking about this year's unique public art project.
Right.
And we'll get to why this is behind us in a minute or two here. The public art project has been going on this is going to be the 14th year, and you've
Right.
been here for all but one, right?
Correct, right. I got here really at the tail end of the second year, which was the Cats.
Right, I
and,
remember that.
was here for the auction and then have been involved in the project since then.
Just talk a little bit about, let's give some of the other examples and how it evolved from first, and I think this was kind of inspired by the Chicago cows.
Yeah. Actually, it was Mrs. Johnson, Imogene
Yeah.
Johnson's idea, and part of it had to do with we'd had road construction downtown for 3 years, and it was a really difficult time. And what do we do to attract people downtown during what's a challenging time to walk the sidewalks and find a place to park? And it was dusty and all of those things. And I think about that time, Chicago had done, I believe they called it Cows on Parade, maybe, or something
I just
similar
know
to
it was
that.
cows.
But and really her idea was, if Chicago can do cows, we got to be able to do something similar to that. And so year one we decided to do dogs, and there was a couple different poses, and timing was really fun and unique too, because at the very same time the Johnson building was under construction, it was nearing completion, and everybody wanted to see what the building was like inside. And so when we had our what we call the preview party, which is when we invite our sponsors and supporters to see the pieces before they hit the street, we hosted that party at the Johnson building. And so it was a standing room only, sold out event, and just a lot of excitement around both things, both the art event but the new opening of the Johnson building.
And the structures used in this have really evolved over time, from the animals in the first years to some somewhat smaller or hangable.
Yeah, and that has happened for a variety of reasons. We've done we started out with dogs, and then we did cats, and we did bears, and some of those bears were pretty big. And even then we did spheres a number of years ago, and those were pretty large. A couple things have happened. As other communities across the country have decided to do similar projects, those fiberglass pieces have gotten very expensive. And so, you can easily get into $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 just for the fiberglass blank, and that's before you've done anything to it. In addition to that, we have a lot of the same art lovers and collectors, not only from Racine but around the area, have kind of indicated they're running out of space.
Yeah.
You only have
Once
a
they
place
buy it
to
at
exhibit.
auction.
Where do you keep putting all of these pieces? So that's caused us to try to mix it up a little bit too and come up with some different subject matter.
The clocks were, I think, really nice, and last year you did the small tiles. This year's is really a totally new territory. And you're using the theme, Celebrate Racine. Is that going to continue to be the name of the whole program? Or
yes,
normally you hold a contest.
We do hold a contest, except we've never given a theme before. So we've never said, here's your subject, but you can do anything with your subject. So this year we're really giving a theme.
Oh, that's right.
And so it's a little different. So I don't know what we're going to call the campaign, except Celebrate Racine is what we're calling it at this point. And again, as the artists are being invited to submit original works of art in the two-dimensional format. So, and they have to meet these specific size dimensions. This is 15 inches wide by 30 inches tall, and partially because that's a scalable size for what we need once we enlarge them.
And talk about the subject matter.
So the subject matter is, we've said to people the concept is Celebrate Racine, and Racine certainly is bigger than the city of Racine. It's Racine County, and so we want to get subject matter from the entire county to help celebrate. I feel like we need to unify this county, and there seems to be that ongoing struggle about what's good for east of the I may be different than west of the I. We want to set that all aside and say, let's celebrate Racine County. So we've said to people, the subject matter could be landmarks, it could be nature, attractions, architecture, traditions. Maybe somebody has a great either photograph or painting of the 4th of July parade, for example, or chocolate fest or something
Oh, yeah.
that might be out on west of the I. Landscapes, which certainly I expect to get, lakefront photos, but there's also great lakes and great around the county as well that could be included in that. History, innovation, and environment. Innovation is one that's particularly interesting to me because we've had such great innovation in agricultural equipment and
Many things.
consumer products and so much innovation
and radiators.
Right, and I don't know what exactly those will look like, but that's where we hope people will kind of embrace what is Racine. We hope we don't get 50 lighthouses. Certainly lighthouses will be a major subject.
Yeah.
I expect and hope we'll get a rondelle and a research tower. I mean, frankly, architecture is a natural for us, but there is so much more to that than to Racine than just those items too.
And now, one little challenge is going to be, it must be vertical for reasons we're going to get to very soon.
It does have to be a vertical dimensions. So what happens is the artist will submit, and this is what's different too and unique this year, and a little causing a little anxiety for me is in the past people had to submit a sketch of what it is they were going to do, and we tried to use the sketch as a way to really determine whether you could actually execute what you're suggesting to us you can do. This year they're turning into us final projects, so we're missing that step. So we're not really sure what we'll get till we get it.
Yeah.
But ultimately we'll take this 15 by 30 inch.
Well, you're gonna have a juried show. Let's talk
about a juried show. So we
and define that for the people who don't know what that
means. Well, it's for those in the art world, it's I don't want to use the word professional, but skilled people who have skills and reputations and history and experience in the art world will judge the pieces submitted. And so we would like to have 50 original, unique pieces. And so anything, if they don't meet the certain criteria of being a high quality art show, then we'll send them back to those who submit them. So we are trying to raise the bar a little bit in terms of submissions. We have, there's two reasons we do, two good solid reasons we do this project. First is it brings a lot of people downtown. I mean, all summer long, whether it's families or tourists or summer camps and school groups, it brings a lot of people downtown. The other point that's important is it raises a lot of funds for the organization. And so in the past, we've allowed a lot of school groups and kids groups just to be inclusive as possible, except at the end of the day, by the time I've paid $350 for a fiberglass piece and we contribute something as an artist stipends, I've got a pretty substantial investment in it, and those don't always make that return for us. So we felt like we've certainly supported those groups, we've involved them a long time, but this year we wanted to really try to raise the bar a little bit.
And then, of course, this is going to become what our viewers will see, the two-sided banners, very substantial, heavy. Is it a plastic?
It's a heavy vinyl.
A vinyl.
Yeah, it's actually a vinyl-coated canvas, so they're a very heavy, durable product. But yes, as you mentioned, what will happen is we'll take this image, we'll have a digital scan of the image, and we'll enlarge it then, and it will be about 30 inches wide by 56 inches tall. So basically 4 times this size, almost. And then it'll be put on the banners downtown. Obviously the theme is Celebrate Racine. We'll acknowledge the artist, the sponsor, and the title of the works as well on the banner. And so as you know, there's several reasons we're excited about that.
And by the way, if we didn't say it before, there'll be two-sided banners.
Two-sided, right.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if we get 50 good pieces of work, there'll be 50 unique banners. And the quality of construction is substantial enough that we could get at least 3 years of use out of them. So
not to say you're going to do it in consecutive
years.
Yeah,
but if the community likes it, they embrace it, and the artists are on board, we could do it again and add 50 more next year and have a collection of 100 on exhibit, which would be nice to do. But there's a couple reasons that the banner makes some nice sense. Is that we have folks who come to town. Lots of times it's a long weekend and they make it up on Mondays or Sundays, and they want to see a specific piece and that business may be closed, or they can't make it during the hours of which the business is open. So the banners, because they're on light poles, they're really ultimately lighted, not specifically, but they're lighted. But they also have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week presentation. Main Street has over 12,000 cars a day coming up and down Main Street. 6th Street has almost 6,000 cars a day. 7th Street's around 7,000 cars a day. So
and you're trying to cause accidents as people.
Well, I don't cause accidents, but for those who who I think people will want to get out of the cars and take a closer look.
Yeah,
But it certainly will be a daily reminder to come
Yeah.
down and see them and bring the family and those types of things. In addition to that, historically we've had a very tight schedule in terms of bringing them back in, having an auction, and selling them at the end of the season. Since we won't be selling the banners, we're going to leave them up much longer. So they'll be up till almost the 1st of October. And again, historically, we've had a little concern from some of the school groups. You know, they get back after Labor Day and they march the kids down to see whatever subject matter might be. And by the time they get here, sometimes we've taken them off the streets for the auction. So this will allow a longer schedule.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great plus. Where will these be in the meantime?
Well,
The originals, that is.
the originals will be with us at the Downtown Racine Corporation. There will be a gallery exhibit or exhibition of the original pieces. We're still working out those details,
Okay.
and I think we'll probably do that at the Arts Council or some other gallery space
Okay.
downtown.
Mhm.
So there will be an exhibit of those, but not all summer. I mean, we really want people to come see the banners. We want them to walk around downtown, and I don't want to give them a shortcut to see all 50 in one location and not experience all of downtown.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple things about that this also solves. One of them being, if you keep the pieces inside as you did last year, you have the
Yeah.
problem. You have the hours, but also
Sometimes people, you know, if someone's just comes down specifically to see the art pieces and they have to go into a business, sometimes they feel a little uncomfortable about that.
I felt that. Yeah. Now do I need to buy something for
Yeah,
you?
do I need to buy something, or
Yeah.
do I need to make conversation with
Yeah,
the
right.
store owner? The store owners themselves, it has historically been a lot of work for them to push things out every night, to
So
bring
if
them
they're
out,
outside, yeah, and
secure
then you have
them.
touching and
Right.
potential vandalism and weather and all those things.
Yeah, we haven't had as much vandalism, just as we always like to kid the overloved part.
Yeah.
Kids like to touch those
Yeah,
things, and
right.
so,
Little pieces break off.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
that
seems to
solves
solve
those
a lot
issues
of-
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fantastic idea. I'm sure this is going to be big.
Yeah.
The name, will there be a name contest, do you think?
I don't think so. I think we're moving forward to celebrate Racine,
Okay.
and we're calling it a community beautification project.
And what date do they come out?
Roughly the 1st of June. I would expect around Memorial Day, the week after Memorial Day, and then they'll be out through about the 1st of October.
You're going to need to have some kind of like cherry picker to put these up, I assume?
Yeah, you know, we have folks that do that for, you know, the downtown usually transitions banners 2 to 3 times a year, at least twice a year. Most of you are probably familiar with the red and blue and yellow, we call them dancing people banners.
Oh, yeah.
And then we switch those out in the holiday season for the holiday banners.
Yeah.
So, so we'll put them up, and we'll have I think a broader, if we get 50 good designs, we'll have a broader presentation. So we'll have some on Main Street, 6th Street, 7th Street, you know, Wisconsin Avenue maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, so
And you guys cooked it up yourselves, you didn't borrow this from anyone?
Well, we did. I should, you know, I'm convinced there's not a whole lot of original ideas. It started out as, you know, someone had made some suggestions about what do we do, and they wanted us to do a project with high schools across the county, and anyway, there was lots of brainstorming. Ultimately, I think it was Mike Stake who said, we should do artwork on banners and create big pictures, and so we decided to jump on board. We did a lot of research, and so we found a similar model from, actually a similar project in Canada. We certainly added our own touches to it. They only did 3, we're gonna do 50, and some of those things. But no, there are other communities that have done banner contests, not quite the same.
All right, well, Devin Sutherland of Downtown Racine Corporation, we're looking forward to it. I'm Michael Burke, we got Scott Anderson behind the camera. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thank you.